Welcome to another edition of our Saturday Sit Down, episode number 2. We catch up with the Wheatcrofts, Chase and Jim, current and former Lethbridge Hurricane. In fact, the second father-son duo to ever play for the Lethbridge Hurricanes. We'll start with Chase. Chase, how are things going right now for you back at home?
I think they're starting to open up now. I think May 25th was the day that you can go to stores and stuff here. So it's starting to feel back to normal here, but it's been a tough couple weeks and months, but it's good finally getting back to normal here.
Jim, how's it been having the sun back under the roof?
Well, we were going without him quite a while there, and now it's a little bit of overload, but we've managed. It's been good, and it's been great to have him back and have him around that much. So both our kids have been here, and it's been great. Lots of family dinners. It's been real nice.
Jim, you look pretty fresh. It looks like you got a haircut recently. Chase, what about you? Are you going to get a trim, or are you going to let that grow for next season?
Oh boy, I don't know. I was planning on getting one right when the season's over. I mean, I like the hockey here during the season, but myself, I'm more of a short hair guy. I like to keep it simple, but doesn't look like it's going that way so far. But as soon as I can get one, I think I'll probably go into the salon. So
I think you should grow it out, do the whole 90s Yager look. I think.
Yeah, just
what about you, Jim? You should grow it out, right?
Yeah, Hanson brothers, I'm thinking. Yeah, sure.
So Chase, I want to ask you about your first year in the WHL. You finished second in points by a rookie on the Hurricanes, 29 points in 59 games. Obviously, it was cut short because of COVID-19 and the cancellation of the season. But walk us back through your first year. How much fun was it? And when you look back now, how much did you enjoy it?
Oh, I mean, it is so much fun. Being away from home it's hard at first, but it just gets more and more fun, especially being under a good supporting family like the Demones. It was so much from start to finish. And I would have loved to play playoffs because I think we had a real good team. I think we would have went far, but I mean, it was still a great year, and I'm just very grateful for what happened this year.
You mentioned living with Jim and Kristen, the Demones. Jim, of course, a former player himself, playing in the Western Hockey League, and of course has close ties with the Lethbridge Hurricanes. How much help did he give you over the course of your first season during the ups and downs living with him?
Oh, for sure. I mean, he was very helpful. I mean, there's a couple slumps I went through this season. He just told me to keep my head high and just keep going, keep working hard in practice, keep putting in that work because it'll start to pay off. And I think near the end of the season, it really started to take off for me. Jim,
when you think back to when you played and now watching Chase, do you lend a ear or, a tidbit of advice throughout the course of time?
Well, you try not to say too much and, we don't connect that often. So when you do see him, you don't want to just be talking about hockey all the time and laying it on them thick. So you kind of got to pick your spots more than other years. And there's a lot of confidence there in right through the whole coaching staff and the GM and everything that they're going to steer them right, and also through the Demones. So there's not much I have to say. And if Chase wants to reach out, he can, and I'm happy to be there for him. But I think that he's covered with the great group that they have.
Chase, talk about the season and how it unfolded in terms of your maturation. I mean, I imagine it's so hard as a rookie going from midget to the Western Hockey League. How do you think you adapted? Obviously, the numbers were pretty good in your first year.
I mean, it all started with my coaches. They got us ready from those practices and preseason, and they told us this wasn't going to be easy. It's not easy coming in as a rookie. Nothing's earned. So, I mean, I just kept working my way up, and I think at the start it was a huge jump. I started to realize that I gotta play a more 200-foot game. I got to start using my teammates more. So once I started putting trust in the entire team, I think I just started to excel a bit more. And near the end of the season, it just started to keep going, and it really ended off good for me.
You're in 2002 born, and a pretty good collection of young players on this group last season, and of course to move forward to next year. How much fun was it to kind of go through that growing experience with a lot of guys in the same situation as you in their first year?
Oh, for sure. I mean, there was so many guys doing all that I had to do. It was just, we had to pack the bus and stuff, and I had 10 teammates with me, and we were just having fun all the time. I mean, at the front of the bus, these guys are just great guys, every single one of them. And I mean, I wouldn't want any of them more than each other. It was just awesome. All of them are just great. So
Chase mentions the bus trips. Jim, is that something you miss from your playing days in the Western Hockey League?
I really didn't mind the bus, but it wasn't like it is now. These guys had it pretty easy with the way the Central Division is, or the way it's set up with Calgary, Red Deer, Edmonton. They weren't around when we played, so it was Medicine Hat, Swift Current, and then you went on from there to Regina, Moose Jaw. So I think it was a tougher road schedule, but I'm glad that these guys. It was a little ridiculous back then, and I think it's a little better now with the Central teams in Alberta.
Take us back a little bit, because you're an original Hurricane. You're a Calgary Wrangler, and you came down with the relocation from Calgary to Lethbridge. What do you remember from the first year, the first couple of seasons here in Lethbridge with the Hurricanes?
Well, leaving Calgary was tough, because Calgary, it was kind of like the Charleston Chiefs. It's like, who owns this team? Who owns, like, halfway through the year? And the team kind of imploded. It was a pretty good team, and it kind of went downhill. And because we knew we were moving somewhere. And then to find out it was Lethbridge and 2 hours down the road south, it was great. And the community welcomed us. It was just so much better than being in Calgary, and that thing kind of unraveling in front of you as you played through the season. And then you come to Lethbridge, you got new life, but we were also kind of starting over again, starting fresh. So, and the team had to go from there. So it started to turn around, and I was there for 2 years. And then after that, they kind of took off and had some great years, and got to play with the guys like Jason Ruff and Corey Lyons and Wes Walls and McLennan and those guys in those early years. Mark Gregg, of course, was unbelievable. All these unbelievable players, Brian Bosch, all these guys that were filling the nets, Rubicek. And that was a great time for the Hurricanes. So just kind of being there at the start was great in my 20-year-old year, 19 and 20-year-old years.
I look at your numbers, Jim, 15 goals in both 87, 88, and 88, 89. But the number that stands out to me, Chase, you got some work to do there to catch that.
Yeah.
But the numbers that stand out to me, 426 penalty minutes in 2 years. Were you a tough guy, Jim? Is this what the numbers are supposed to tell me, that you were a tough guy on that team?
Apparently, I don't know.
Well, I think I needed anger management classes, and they didn't have them offered at the time. So I was just an angry player on the ice, and I don't know why, but I took offense to a lot of different things, and probably too many things bothered me. I got a little sidetracked, but it was a different era too. So, it was more everywhere, the fighting and stuff. So I got in a few scraps, I guess.
Chase, 22 penalty minutes in your first year in the WHL. Where'd you get the finesse and skill if old man was a bruiser?
Well, I mean, I swear the first time I was in that box, I almost saw his initials engraved in there. That's how many times he's in there. It's like going into his old house. But, I mean, my first goal, I was coming out of the penalty box, and somehow I got a lucky break and went down on a breakaway and managed to find the net. So sometimes they're a good thing, I guess.
I wanted to ask you about the first goal, October 4th at home against the Portland Winterhawks. It's funny you mentioned that, because you were in the penalty box and you got a breakaway and was able to beat Joel Hofer. Not a easy goaltender to beat. What was that kind of feeling like when you score your first Western Hockey League goal?
Well, I remember, it's funny you say that. So I score my goal, and I realized I don't have my mouth guard. So I left it in the penalty box. So I'm freaking out. I'm like, I can't let the ref see it, because I don't want it to get called back, even though it couldn't. Like, I was just freaking out anyways. Pretty much blacked out after I scored that goal. So then I skate over after I score and go to the penalty box and grab my mouth guard. And I don't remember much. I just remember coming back to the bench and getting, get pats on the head and stuff. And I just remember, it was just a great moment, I guess.
It's funny you mentioned that, because I watched that sequence earlier today, and I think it was Seth Jarvis got a mouth guard violation at the same time you got a penalty.
Yeah, that's why. And then I forgot my mouth guard. I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm going to get a violation here. So I just had to keep it cool, I guess, without one in.
Jim, you were in the building that night, and I remember looking down, because you were sitting with one of our older color guys, Brian Hancock, who, of course, you know well. And I know you were sitting with him, and I remember looking down and saw you fist bump. Maybe walk us through the exhilaration from a father's point of view, seeing your son score his first goal in the WHL.
Yeah, that was a special moment for sure. It was really cool, and just the way it all happened, and like a penalty. or a breakaway like that. So it wasn't a quick thing. You're just kind of at the edge of your seat, waiting for him to go in on the net. And I've watched him be on a lot of breakaways in the past and penalty shots, and he doesn't miss too many. So I was kind of going, okay, maybe this is it. He's going to get his first goal, and sure enough, he opened up the wickets of the goalie and slipped it through his legs. So it was a good moment, and yeah, we were high-fiving and hugging, and Karen was pretty excited about it too. So it was a good moment, really cool.
So do you have the puck, Chase? Where's the puck right now?
Yeah, it's on the mantle in the living room. It's just kind of stationed up there. I mean, there it has my first AJHL goal was below it, so the dub means more. But I mean, they're both up there. So,
Jim, do you still have your first goal puck? Was that a thing back in the 80s? Did you keep the puck?
They didn't scoop the pucks up back then, so I didn't get it. And to be honest, I can't remember how I even scored that goal. So
probably off your head or something.
Yeah, it could have been off my face. I don't know, but I don't even remember the goal, believe it or not. So which is strange, but oh well.
I know talking to and seeing interviews with former players that are dads now and watching their sons play either major, junior, or in the NHL. A lot of guys say they're more nervous now than when they played. Is that kind of the same for you when you get to come down to Lethbridge or in Calgary or wherever and watch Chase play in the WHL?
Oh, for sure. I think it starts in warm up. I always like to get there early enough so we can watch a little warm up, and you're kind of watching and checking everything out. And you just don't even know what to watch other team because there's some other players, and it's just such a great building too, going to Lethbridge. But yeah, there's always nerves there, and it was a great season to watch. So the way this team played and the way they were coached and everything, it was just great. So, and the fans in that building it's unbelievable. What a great place to watch hockey, and it's just I can't believe how great it is.
So I want to kind of go down the personal side a little bit because I've been in the industry for 12 years and I've always been nicknamed Forbesy. That's kind of just the nickname that's come with it, even when I played and was in high school. This year, a new nickname, and it came from your son, Jim, Forbetown, and you seem to be a nickname guy yourself. Where does this come from, the creativity of the Wheatcrofts for nicknames?
I don't know. I think I've always been pretty quick at thinking of stuff just in my head with nicknames all through my hockey careers, just hearing all these different nicknames. And I thought, you know what, why not try something new with you? And Forbetown, it was a pretty good name. And I think it stuck pretty well throughout the team. So I think we liked that one.
It did.
I'd have to keep it. Yeah.
It did stick. Yeah. I reluctantly accept it.
I like Forbinator. I like Forbinator. That might stick too. You know what? Maybe that's the only thing I passed down to the kid. Like it's not the hands, but maybe it's the ability to come up with nicknames because I've always kind of liked to throw them around as well and enjoyed making up nicknames for guys. So what were some of the nicknames back in the day, Jim, that you came up with? Are you responsible for the nickname Noodles for Jamie McLennan then? No, I can't take credit for that, but we had a few. Calians, we came up with Fozzie Bear because he was kind of a muppet out there, but unbelievable player. And we had a few other ones. Some you don't really want to mention.
Yeah, keep it PG.
Yeah, but most of them are pretty simple. Like a Walsey or a Gregor or whoever. Ruby. Whoever it was, Ruffles. But I mean. You can't take credit for them, but you definitely got to use nicknames. It's the way to go.
Do you still keep in contact with a lot of those guys? I mean, the guys you listed earlier and just now. I mean, there's a lot of big names that played and had high-profile careers, not only at the WHL level, but went on to play professional hockey. Do you still keep in touch with a lot of the guys you played in the early years?
You know what? There's a few guys for sure. Like Kevin Heisey actually is. I'm the godfather of his three kids, and he's a godfather for Chase. So we're still like best of friends. We don't get to see each other as much, but he's in Calgary, and he had a good nickname. It was the Hitman. So he's Chase's godfather is the Hitman. But Kevin Heisey's one for sure that we still really stick together. But I see Mark Gregg at the rink. I got to see Jason Ruff this year, which was great. Corey Lyons, I got to see, and all the guys that you get to see. It's just great, right? So
you mentioned Kevin, because I remember a couple of years ago, Jim Wheatcroft and Kevin Heisey show up to the Hurricanes alumni golf tournament, and there's these two curly-headed little guys, little teenagers, 13 or 14, 15 years old, and that, of course, one of them being Chase. At that time, Chase, did you ever envision playing for the Lethbridge Hurricanes when you were coming to those golf tournaments?
No, I don't think I did at all. I remember showing up there, and I was pretty starstruck by a guy like Trevor or Wong was there, and I was like, oh my gosh, like this guy, he's top level. I was like, okay. And I remember Jamal Watson was there one year, and I was like, oh, these are good players. Like, oh, what, like that'd be awesome to be someone like one of them. And I remember just sitting there and just seeing everybody, and to be at a golf tournament like that was just super fun and stuff. And we'd road trip it up and back, and it was just like a super good day and it's super fun. So.
From your aspect, Chase, and I mentioned off the top, the second father-son duo to play for the Lethbridge Hurricanes, the other one, of course, being Corey and Connor Lyons. How much pride do you have from the son aspect to be able to carry on and play in the same city for the same team that your dad did when he played?
No, it's pretty cool. Like ever since a young age, I've known like the Lethbridge Hurricanes. Like I used to watch. I'd wake up early on Sports Center, and sometimes you could see the WHL scores in the bottom, and I'd always look for Lethbridge to see how they're doing. And I was super young; I didn't know what it meant, but I was always looking for that team. And still have stuff all over my room, pictures of my dad with the Lethbridge Hurricanes. I got something I put my water cup on. It's a little holster. It has the Hurricanes thing on it. Like just from a young age, I've been always around the Lethbridge Hurricanes, and now just be playing for them and being in that city is something pretty special.
Jim, what about you from the father side? How much pride do you have?
Oh, it's incredible. Like just to watch it all develop here and just to see the improvement of the kid as he enters into this league and then Western Hockey League, and then just kind of, battle through it, which it is going to be a battle as a 17-year-old, and just keep fighting through it and see where you can go from there, but and keep improving. And it's been great to watch. And that first game, it kind of caught me off guard a little bit. I was reading an article that he was in, and it kind of caught me off guard a little, but and then that was over, and then that was good. But no, it's been great, and there's a lot of pride there for sure.
You can tell for sure with you talking. One of the things that stands out to me, I kind of mentioned it when it comes to the nickname side of things, is the goofy side of Chase. Was he always kind of like a little Mr. Hollywood growing up? Because you think back to the videos you did at Christmas time with the sweater and things like that. Was he always kind of like outgoing like that?
Yeah, Forbesy. It's been very, very outgoing, very loud. The teachers we'd go to parent-teacher interviews and be like, does he have a hearing problem? Because he's so loud. Like, does he hear properly? And we're like, oh yeah, we've had his hearing checked. He's just loud. We had nicknames for him like Loud Louie and things like that. But it's been always, he never lets you rest, basically, is the way I see it. But even now we're shooting pucks. We're throwing ball, like the baseball around on the front street. My shoulder's kind of limp right now, but we're doing all kinds of things, and it's always a lot of entertainment and high energy stuff. That's how it's always been.
Chase, what about you? You seem so comfortable in front of a camera and reading lines. If hockey doesn't work out, are you going to be a Hollywood actor one day?
Oh, I mean, I look into it. I mean, for sure. I think it'd be something I'm pretty good at. I'm good at just being around a camera. I can speak my way through things pretty well. I mean, I'm pretty comfortable around it. And like I said, meeting new people, I feel I'm really like comfortable around them, and like with new teammates, I'm really good with them and stuff. So I think, it could be maybe something for sure. I
have a note here that I wanted to ask you about, Chase, and that's, of course, the new, I don't know if it's super new, but new to me. I'm freshly on it, but TikTok. There's a TikTok on your account with Dino.
Yeah.
Fill us in about that.
We were at Ty Prefontaine's house for a just for a team get together after a game one night. I can't remember when it was. It's probably right around Christmas time, I think. And there's these new dance videos on TikTok, and me and Dino were just kind of thinking about, hey, let's try and make one. Why not? So we got together. We got Rylan Thiessen behind the camera, choreographing the whole thing, and we just kind of bust a couple moves down, and we posted on the internet. Didn't go very far. I mean, we didn't get a lot of views or anything, but I mean, it was a lot of fun making it, and I think I think our team got a lot of laughs out of it, so it was good.
Do you have a lot of old videos of Chase kicking around the house when he was a kid, Jim?
There's a few. Even last year we were down in Phoenix and there was a wedding and we were leaving the restaurant and I said, and the people were dancing and I said, you got to go in there and throw down the worm in front, and like it, because it was a big ring of people dancing. And he's like, no. I'm like, yeah, go in there. I'm not leaving until. So he goes flying out of the car, runs over to this wedding party, jumps into the middle of the group and does a worm through the wedding party, and then comes running back to the vehicle and we take off. But yeah, he's willing to be in a video and have some fun. It was fun.
Oh man, that's so funny. The one thing that kind of comes to mind is the word fun. You said it, and I imagine that this time of year it's fun around the Wheatcroft household, because I look at this and Jim, your birthday was on May 25th. Karen's birthday, Chase's mom, your wife, is on the 26th, and Chase, of course, celebrating his 18th birthday on the 28th. It must be a busy household around this time of year with all the birthdays going on.
Chase?
Well, I mean, it's mayhem. I mean, just waking up, happy birthday every single day, and a lot of cake is getting in the system, which isn't good. But I mean, it's a week a year. It's chaos. It's a lot of fun though. You get to spend it with family, a lot of days with them, and just be able to just make some memories with them and make sure their birthdays are special, which is awesome. Just always wanting to do that.
Jim, how does it work for the shopping aspect? It must be a pain in the you-know-what.
Well, yeah, last night
he doesn't do much of it.
Yeah, last night I had burritos. Karen makes a good burrito, so we had a burrito, and that was a treat, a pizza for mine. And then tonight, I think we're going to do the Earl's thing, pick up at Earl's and bring it back. And Karen's got a Crave cupcake cake. And then Thursday, the Bones are going to join us. They're coming into town. They're coming through town. They're going to come for dinner. And I think they're bringing a cake. And then on the weekend, my mom has a cake coming. So it's a tough one on the waistband this week. And but once today's over, the pressure's off because it's the wife's birthday, and that's the tough one. And then we just kind of roll from there. But there's a lot of things. When Chase was younger, it was worse because he'd have the family, birthday party, and then he'd have something at a water slide or something like that. And it seemed like there was a party every day of the week for 7 days, but it's always a fun week.
So all this cake, I know Brent Kissio and Peter Anhold are probably cringing hearing about you eating a whole bunch of cake, Chase. How are you keeping busy and active, of course, in preparation for a season next year?
Well, I mean, I've been lucky enough for my gym to open up here about a week and a half ago. So I've been going to the gym pretty much every single day, as well as just some odd runs around my street and shooting pucks. I've been staying super active, especially with the father. Me and him have just been doing activities around the house, whether it's trick shots, whether it's throwing baseballs, whether it's whatever we're doing. We're always staying active, which is nice.
Wrestling, don't forget wrestling.
Yeah, there you go. Lots of that. And then just, I've been keeping active really well. And other than the cake, I think my diet's really changed and it's been really good this year. So it's been different for sure, but it's been good.
You mentioned the videos at home. I remember seeing one. I couldn't find it today, but something, I think it was a ping pong ball and a cup in the kitchen or something like that.
Yeah, I have this little like balcony off my third floor kind of down to the living room, and I throw this ball, just kind of grenade toss it. And it hits off 2 pans and into this little like metal cup. And I've been trying it for maybe 4 hours. My arm is just stiffer and it is terrible. And I finally just lob up a prayer and it hits this pan and sinks. And I just go ballistic because I was trying for so long. I would have never thought it would ever happen. So I just went crazy. And, Jimmy posted it to the Twitter, but I don't think it lasted that long just because we realized, I don't know if that's really needs to be on Twitter, so we just kind of got rid of it.
Forbesy, I wanted to keep it up.
Yeah.
He goes, delete your Twitter, delete it, Dad, delete it. I'm like, no. So he full on comes at me. He's throwing lefts, throwing rights. I'm like, oh my, like this guy actually is getting tough. Like I was shocked. It's one of the first times he basically beat me up, gave me a bit of a beat down. I'm like, okay, I'll take it off. But I tried to keep it up there, and it was a bit of a battle. That was almost a serious one, but it was a good video. He had his tarp off, and I don't think he thought he should go shirtless in this Twitter video. So, but I tried to keep it going, but that was the end of it.
Oh, that's good. Hopefully there's more videos like that to come. Chase, I guess I'll leave the last word to you. How excited are you for next season? When you look at the group that the Hurricanes had last year and all those rookies that we talked about earlier, Alex Thacker, Zach Stringer, the list goes on and on and on. How excited are you about next season and what this team, what this franchise can accomplish?
Well, I'm pumped. I think we're going to be a very, very good team next year with the addition of Mitchell Prouse. I think that's a really strong 20-year-old, and I think he'll be very helpful to the team, and I believe that we will be a very strong team next year with all of us gaining experience from that first year, all the rookies, and I think we'll be a stronger team next year, which will be really fun.
Well, we definitely look forward to hockey season and getting you back in Lethbridge, and Jim, seeing you around the NMAX Center again. Chase Wheatcroft, Jim Wheatcroft, thanks so much for doing this, and enjoy the rest of your summer.
All right, thank you.
All right,
Thanks,
there
Forbes
is.
Town.
There is.
Forbes Town.
And Jim Wheatcroft. Saturday sit down. We hope you enjoyed it.